just when you thought that 2020 just couldn't get any better, this is the year that just keeps on giving. Joe Rogan has offered to host a presidential debate between President Trump and Joe Biden. Honestly, this is probably the best idea I've heard all year with anything dealing with politics. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you are watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. You can follow me on Twitter at gforemanbcp. Let's get into it. All right, so Joe Rogan has offered to host a 4-hour presidential debate on his podcast, in which he invited President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. Now, President Trump has already accepted the offer. Now, I'm telling y'all, the liberals on Twitter and the blogosphere are so upset. They throwing a fit. They ripping their hair out. Liberal tears everywhere because they know damn well that Joe Biden don't want none of this MAGA smoke. They don't want none of this Trump train 2020 smoke. None. Zero. Period. Nada. Finito. They don't want it. There's no way that Joe Biden can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump mentally in a political debate for 4 hours straight, especially with a moderator like Joe Rogan. Joe Biden doesn't know what he ate for breakfast. Joe Biden doesn't even know his own address. He doesn't even know any of his family members. Joe Biden don't even know he's alive. They know that Trump would embarrass Joe Biden in a Joe Rogan moderated debate. No questions asked. Hands down. I mean, it wouldn't even be a fair fight. I mean, it's barely fair right now with the establishment host. But I mean, if you have somebody like Joe Rogan, who ain't gonna let Biden get away with the, if you play the record player on at night and the kids play with my leg hair. Nah. He ain't gonna be able to get away with all that. Quite honestly, guys, it's not gonna happen. The Democrats are not letting Joe Biden come out of the basement. Matter of fact, they are actively trying to avoid debating President Trump at all costs because they know that President Trump would embarrass the hell out of Sleepy Joe. Guys, this idea is so good because one, it very much favors President Trump, and the Democrats know that. That's why they're trying to weasel out of debates, period. They're not really trying to debate, but it's such a good idea because Joe Rogan is honestly a better moderator than any establishment corporate media person I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, I can imagine Joe Rogan open up the debate kind of like, so which one of you guys have done DMT? Are you in favor of legalized marijuana? So what about those aliens? Have you ever heard of the ancient alien theory or the Anunnaki? I mean, like, could you imagine? Look who we have right now. Don Lemon, Rachel Maddow, Al Sharpton, the token Spanish woman that they have at every debate where they happen to speak some of the questions in Spanish to appeal to the Latino audience. I feel like Joe Rogan and Don Lemon are the same level of intelligence. Like, come on now. Like, Joe Rogan could do Don Lemon's job. If you're gonna have Don Lemon host a debate, you can have Joe Rogan host a debate. That's just as legitimate. Joe Rogan is way better than any of those guys. We would get the answers to the real questions that we really want answered in this country, right? And most certainly, we will know if there are aliens, because that is something that Joe Rogan would definitely get to the bottom of that we would not get in a regular presidential debate. So I'm ecstatic about the idea of a Joe Rogan moderated debate. But now, in all seriousness though, I mean, Joe Rogan would actually be a better moderator than any mainstream commentator, in my opinion. And the reason why is because Joe Rogan keeps it real, right? He's a straight shoot on his podcast. He says what he thinks. I'm a big fan. I guess some people don't like Joe Rogan, mainly the liberals. They don't like Joe Rogan for whatever reason, even though he came out in support of Bernie Sanders. I guess they don't like him now because he said he'd rather support Trump than Biden. So, I don't really know what the problem is with the liberals. Actually, I do know what the problem is. If you're not 100% on their train, then they don't want you at all. That's just kind of how that goes. But even the idea of a Joe Rogan moderated debate just shows us where we are today in terms of our establishment media and how serious the American people actually take these people. Right? Like, can you imagine how many people would tune in to watch a Joe Rogan moderated debate? I mean, I would imagine that the ratings on something like that would be astronomical. Astronomical. I mean, so many people would tune in to watch it. Liberals, conservatives, everybody would tune in to watch. It would be unfiltered, right? You get down to the real deal. Joe Rogan's not just gonna let them get away with not answering questions, but you had to have some security, though. You have to have some security. Joe Biden has threatened to punch President Trump numerous times, so we gotta have some security. But I love this idea, man. I really do. I just think that, even though I know it's not gonna happen, I just think that our politics is such a joke that something like this needs to happen. We need to make this happen. And President Trump has said he's down. President Trump said he's down. I mean, coming into these debate seasons, President Trump has momentum. And a Joe Rogan moderated debate would be too easy for him, man. It would be way too easy for him versus Joe Biden. I mean, Joe Biden doesn't even know where he is right now. He doesn't know he's alive. There's no way he will have 4 hours worth of talking points that he better cover. Because we know President Trump. President Trump can shoot straight off the hip. You know, he doesn't need talking points and scripts and all that. President Trump can just shoot off the hip. Joe Biden doesn't have that ability. Joe Biden has to have his handlers prepare every talking point that he has, every question that he's going to get, every response that he's going to get. And they have to sit for 3 and 4 days in his basement, training him up on not saying something super racist. Automatically, I know 4 hours, he going to say something derogatory about black people. You know, that's par for the course with Joe Biden. But in all seriousness, though, guys, I hope that Biden can rejuvenate a pair and actually sack up to debate President Trump on a Joe Rogan moderated debate, because I think that debates need to be more of a conversation, and Joe Rogan can facilitate a real conversation between two candidates in which us as the American people will get the real side of what these candidates thinks, their plans for America, and how they're going to move forward with this country, right? And that only really can be achieved in a conversation style debate. And Joe Rogan is real enough where he would ask the right questions, he would get the answers, he wouldn't just let them weasel out of stuff, he'd call them out on their bullshit. And that's exactly what we need. We need somebody that can hold these politicians accountable, and the establishment media has shown that they're unable to do so. So I think it's a great idea. Even though the liberals hate it because they think that Joe Rogan is some type of white supremacist, I think that Joe Rogan will ultimately be fair and balanced towards President Trump and Joe Biden, which would be literally impossible to get from any of the establishment media. So fingers crossed that, you know, Biden actually can, you know, throw his hat in the arena and make this happen, because I know President Trump is down. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and most importantly, share a black conservative perspective, aka a liberal's worst nightmare. Peace.